Rumple, Buttercup, a story of bananas, belonging, and being yourself by Matthew Gray Gubler. For all the rumples everywhere, come close and I'll tell you a story. Rumple, Buttercup. Chapter 1. Once upon a time, long ago and far away, in a tiny town beneath a purple-peaked pine tree, there lived a monster named Rumple Buttercup. He had 5 crooked teeth, 3 strands of hair, green skin, and his left foot was slightly bigger than his right. He was weird. And so Rumple worried that if anyone ever saw him, they would be scared, run away, or throw rocks at his head. So he spent his entire life hiding underground in a rain drain right by the garbage can in the middle of town, where no one would ever see him. But where he could still see them, laughing and playing, singing and dancing, walking dogs, and jumping rope. But most of all, sorry, it's hard to do with one hand. Not being weird. Lots of straight teeth, more than 3 strands of hair, no green skin, cute and fluffy, perfectly proportioned feet. Living underground wasn't all bad though. Rumple made the most of it, and had a nice little home he decorated with old garbage he found in a can outside. Rumple's home. Tin can chandelier. Old-fashioned garbage chair with roller skate wheels and rusted radio headrest. Footstool made entirely out of bubblegum and beans. There he lived day after day, week after week, year after year. So much time alone. So one day he reached in the garbage can and took 2 lollipops, a piece of chewed gum, 3 strands of spaghetti, some melted licorice rope, a petrified pretzel, a handful of candy corn, and created Candy Corn Carl. Even though he was just a bunch of old candy that Rumple had glued to the wall, Candy Corn Carl was Rumple's best friend in the world, and Rumple would talk to him for hours a day. "What have you been up to, Carl?" But Carl never replied. "Oh well, hang in there, Carl. Get it? Hang in there. 'Cause you're hung on the wall." If Carl was real, he probably would have liked that joke, but since he was a bunch of candy stuck on the wall, I can't see, just stared. When Rumple wasn't building stuff out of garbage or talking to Carl, he would listen to the voices above ground and pretend they were talking to him. With his eyes shut really tight, it was as if he was part of all the fun happening above. Can anyone get my cat out of the tall tree? I can. Wow, those are some great dance moves. Thanks. Hang in there, I said to him. Ha ha ha. But when he opened his eyes, he would remember that it was all just a dream and no one was ever talking to him. Sometimes at night, if the moon wasn't too bright and Rumple wasn't feeling adventurous, he would go above ground with the help of a very simple disguise. Rumple's above ground disguise. Step 1. Get a banana peel out of the garbage can. Step 2. Put it on his head. Step 3. Close eyes. Step 4. Slither head up the drain and sit very, very still. Lying quietly by the garbage can, no one ever noticed him, and if anybody saw him, they would just think he was a pile of trash. Hidden under his banana peel, Rumple almost felt like he was normal. Year after year, with his eyes shut tight, he would feel the breeze of the changing seasons. In October, he had the crunching leaves and almost taste the apple cider he could. In December, he would hum along with the passing carolers. Fa la 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 la. And in July, he could imagine the beautiful fireworks. But at the end of each night, he was always reminded that he was still all alone. Chapter 2. The leaves were turning green, which meant that they were Rumple's favorite day. His favorite day was fast approaching. Sorry, I'm being distracted by pop downs from people. The annual pajama jam cotton candy pancake parade. On the 17th Saturday of summer, everyone in town would wake up late, keep their pajamas on, and march down the center of town singing and dancing and lighting fireworks and laughing while eating giant bushels of cotton candy pancakes. Rumple loved this day most of all because it was one day of the year that he could actually go out in daylight. With all of the noise and commotion, no one would ever notice him. As long as he had his disguise. Summer, the big day. After a whole year of waiting, the day was almost here. The night before, Rumple was so excited he could hardly sleep. He woke up early the next morning, brushed his 5 crooked teeth, combed his 3 wispy hairs, and slowly and carefully slithered his long green hand up the rain drain to find a banana peel. But the garbage can was empty. Top view of the garbage can. Nothing except gum stains. There was no banana peel. Oh no, thought Rumple. I'm going to miss the pajama jam pancake parade. I can't go above ground without my disguise, or people will think I'm weird. So he lowered his head and cried. And cried. And cried some more. And that is when he heard it. Chapter 3. Aren't you going to watch the parade this year? Rumple couldn't believe it. It was Candy Corn Carl finally talking to him after all these years. He whipped his hand around in amazement. But Carl was silent. And then he heard the same voice again, a little bit louder this time. Can you hear me down there, mister? The voice wasn't coming from Candy Corn Carl. It was coming from the rain train. Someone above ground was talking to him. Sorry to bother you, but we were just wondering if you were coming to watch the parade this year. Rumple sheepishly replied, "What do you mean?" "Well, we couldn't help but notice that you weren't in your usual spot, so I just thought I would check to make sure you were okay." "You can see me?" "Of course we can see you. You're kind of hard to miss." "But aren't you scared of me?" Then a different voice replied, "Why would we be scared of you?" "Because I have 5 crooked teeth, 3 strands of hair, green scaly skin, and my left foot is slightly bigger than my right. I'm weird." "Well, look at me," replied the boy. "I have really big cheeks, metal on my teeth, and my entire body is covered in freckles. And look at me. I have thick glasses, a super pointy nose, and can't pronounce the letter R." All of a sudden, Rumple didn't feel so alone. He moved closer to the rain drain, got up on his tiptoes, and looked out and saw my hair is too curly. My hair is too straight. I'm allergic to dogs. I'm taller than my big brother. I only have 1 eyebrow. I'm shorter than my little sister. The entire city looking down. My toes look like tiny carrots. I can't grow a mustache. I'm allergic to dogs. Peanuts make my face turn red. I sing like a frog. I look like a frog. And that's when Rumple realized everyone is weird. And that's what makes us great. Rumple above ground. Oh, pulling Rumple above ground, the boy remarked, "You know, There is one thing about you we always thought was strange. Oh no, thought Rumple. What? Why do you always wear a banana peel on your head? And Rumple just smiled. All this time, they could see him after all, and nobody cared that he had 5 crooked teeth, 3 strands of hair, green scaly skin, and even a banana peel on his head. And the town was so happy their new friend had decided to join them above ground that they insisted he lead the parade from the top of the highest float. High up there above the ground, way higher than he had ever been before, Rumple could feel the wind in his 3 strands of hair. The wind in 3 strands of hair. He could taste the cotton candy pancakes in his 5 crooked teeth. And he could finally feel the warm, welcoming sun beating down on his green, scaly skin. But the warmest feeling of all